In Vietnam's Mekong Delta, a lush expanse of mangroves, rivers, and rice fields sustains rich biodiversity and vibrant communities. However, this vital region now faces significant threats from climate change and unsustainable development. To explore how WWF's innovative nature-based solutions are helping locals restore ecosystems, safeguard livelihoods, and shape a sustainable future, we've invited some of Saigon's most creative chefs to craft dishes using a selection of sustainable products from these nature-based solutions projects, demonstrating how they can be transformed into delicious, healthy meals for restaurants and homes. Episode 3 of Elements of the Mekong Delta put a spotlight on Camao's famous crabs and the farmers who raise them amongst mangroves. Chef Ngim Minh Duc then looked to his childhood for inspiration when pairing them with noodles made from floating rice for a Cua Camao consomme. Our series concludes with Chef Peter Kung Franklin, who will compete for an extra Mekong item to use with his final ingredient.
All right, Peter.
Yes.
Just you.
Yep. Me and myself.
Yup.
And I.
So you already know you're gonna get the cacho. We know that. So to keep it interesting and to give you a bit of a loser's prize, we're gonna give you the opportunity for a surprise bonus ingredient. So under the blanket is what you're gonna be playing for with this next question about the dried fish. So please take off the blanket. We'll be playing with lotus.
Lotus.
Have you cooked much with lotus?
Yes.
Does it go well with dried fish?
I don't think so, but can make it work, anything. So, but lotus I think goes with everything anyway. So, but we use the seed and the stem in different forms and different dishes.
All right, great. Well, let's see if you're gonna get it.
Okay.
Cachot, or banded mistis, is a medium-sized catfish naturally dwelling at the bottom of sediment-rich ponds and rivers in the Mekong Delta. Cachot live in freshwater that in the Mekong Delta is at risk for increased salinity due to climate change and human activity. Can cachot tolerate more than 10% salinity?
Yes or no?
Okay.
All right.
No.
No.
No, it cannot. It can only tolerate up to 1.5% maximum
Yay!
water.
I got one! Yay!
So you win the water lotus
Awesome.
and the cachot.
Awesome.
Go cachot.
Okay.
So you can pull each two, and you also, because you're the last one,
Okay.
you will be working with the floating rice in its rice form.
Excellent.
Any initial thoughts on what you might make?
I think the rice is gonna be the core of the dish. So so maybe some kind of similar to like a lotus rice or something like that with the fish threaded inside with a bit of texture from different types of lotus. I think could be nice.
Well, that sounds really good. Right.
Steamed rice, fried rice.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
I feel really lucky because I think I have some of the most important ingredient from the Mekong Delta to stem from Vietnam. We have the rice, we have the fish, which is very plentiful, so they can be dried or fermented into like a mum. And of course, from the culinary perspective, they increase flavor. So, and then of course, the lotus is one of the most important symbolic significance that grows in the muddy water. And we basically use all form of it, from the flower to the root to the seed. So I have a lot to work with.
Không nhiều lắm.
Nó là cá chốt là phải mùa nước, là mùa nước giật, chứ mùa tháng 4, tháng 5 thì nó ít lắm. Mùa này là ngay cái mùa cá chốt đó, mà từ cỡ 2-3 năm gì trở lại đây là nó ít cá lắm. Mỗi một hành chắc cỡ chừng 50-70 kg, 100 kg cá chốt trở lại rồi chứ không có nhiều. Tại vì cá hiện giờ là càng ngày là càng hiếm cá. Giờ mà một cái hành gì nè mua 5-7 triệu, 2-3 triệu, 3-4 triệu mà bán lên rồi nhân công cũng còn kiếm 500-700 triệu à, chứ không có là dư nhiều như mỗi khi thì nó nhiều, còn giờ là không có cá hiếm lắm. Con cá này là tự nhiên, nó mùa nước người ta sẽ xả nước nè, nó lên đồng rồi nó đẻ nó lớn, rồi tới nước cạn người ta bế lại nè, rồi nó mới không có luồn chung ra, nó sẽ nhảy xuống hành cho mình.
Nhà mình thì làm khô với mắm. Khô nói chung ra là đủ thứ khô cưng. Khô cá chốt, khô cá sặc, khô cá lóc, khô cá gu phi với khô cá chạch. Là ngày nay chị phơi đó là ra 10 mấy ký khô á. Ngày nay chị phơi đó là 3 sọt khô thứ đó đó. Màng cực lắm, công phu lắm. Mình cắt đầu rồi mình thẻo bỏ xương, rồi mới mình rửa, ngâm nước muối mình rửa rồi mình mới đi xách ông mai phơi, ướp đồ gia vị vô rồi mới phơi. Như mình để đông đá là lâu dữ lắm đó cưng, để trong tủ lạnh đá lâu lắm, ăn lâu lắm. Mình chiên hả, mình làm gỏi gì cũng ngon hết trơn cưng. Đứa nít cũng ăn vẫn được. Nướng chiên gì cũng ngon.
I think, the Mekong Delta, we call it the rice basket of Vietnam, so you cannot avoid the ingredient from the cooking from the Mekong Delta. And a lot of what we do now is, in terms of sourcing ingredient, we want to get the stuff that's near as close to us first. They're fresh, they're seasonal, and they're good quality. They get used every day by Vietnamese people. So, okay. So we get it to that kind of nice brown color, that's it. So we just let it dry out a little bit to cool down. Okay. The next part is very important, is the floating rice. And I think to get this floating rice, this is something unusual because it's a rice that's grown. Okay. It's almost like a wild rice. The stalk can go up to 3 to 5 meters. They're quite big. Because of that, the grain of rice is very special, but it's not for everyday use. This rice will need at least 30 to 40 minutes to cook. So the beauty with this rice also too is it's kind of grown naturally. It doesn't, to some way, it's more sustainable. It doesn't require, let's say, fertilizers and all that stuff, with a normal high-intensive rice. I think it helps to make people appreciate different types of rice that's grown and the importance of the rice for the Mekong, also for Vietnam. This is the lotus root that lives underneath in the water, so it's white color. Yeah, the cá chốt, the dry fish, I think is a little bit more of a common everyday ingredient. They're not expensive, so they just dry it and spread out. The good thing is they can be used almost anything. You can just grill it, eat it for a snack. You can put it in a rice dish, and it's a source of protein. So this one is quite easy to do. You can just grill it, or you can fry it, and then it's edible quite quickly. Well, I think, when we look at the important thing for Vietnam, now we have the rice, which is extremely important because we have two deltas, north and south of Vietnam. Second thing that's very important is seafood and fish. We have fish sauce here. I'm just going to add a touch of fish sauce inside. When you look at our country, it's mostly connected to waterways, whether it be riverway or the ocean. So the fish and seafood is a very important source of protein, very healthy protein for Vietnam. And then the third thing we have is more symbolic, is the lotus flower that is grown around this whole ecosystem because it just needs a small little pond. You see this as one of the symbol of the Vietnamese culture because it's beautiful, it's very resilient. It can survive in any condition, and we use this flower, the fruit, and the seed, all this component when we talk about, let's say, nose to tail, we're talking about from flower to root. Vietnamese, we use all component of this lotus flower, so it's kind of represent what Vietnam is all about in terms of we take something that's kind of grown in the mud. Then now it's finished. So it produces this beautiful thing, and we put it into all kinds of different dishes. So I think, and these three things are very important, of course, because the Mekong Delta is nearby. It has a lot of waterway. It's also connected to the ocean. So it's producing all these products that get used every day. And it's very important for Vietnamese cuisine and culture. So it's a good way, I think, for particularly when we make a dish like this, we're actually showing people how the Vietnamese eat, what we eat, and the resources, available ingredients that are available to us to make a meal for our family. Okay.